Hello, Anime VISOR here, with a review for Frankenstein Family. Yeah, it's definitely not afraid to get a little dark with its themes at times. Frankenstein Family in English, or Jikken-hin Kazoku in Japanese, which would translate to something like Experimental Product Family, is based on a Taiwanese manhwa written by Yanai, titled Shiyan Pin Jiating. The manhwa started publishing in Japanese on October 21st, 2017, and an anime adaptation premiered on April 9th, 2018, and started streaming on Crunchyroll in the US on September 5th. Focusing on what Frankenstein Family is about, Tanasu's parents are mad scientists who live outside of normal society. They locked their own children up on an isolated island and did experiments on them in secret, turning Tanasu's older brother Snow and three older sisters, Aisuri, Ashisu, and Suishi, into strange creatures. One day, their parents were arrested, and their siblings were moved to another island by the welfare office. The trouble is, none of the siblings except Tanasu know how to interact in modern day society. Frankenstein Family's themes can get a little dark. To overly simplify it, for those of you who have seen Fullmetal Alchemist, imagine Show Tucker, but two of them, and instead of experimenting on one kid, they experimented on four of them, and maybe all five, because there isn't anything that suggests Tanasu's genius isn't a product of his parents' experiments. It doesn't ever say he is one either, but only that he may, out of his siblings, find it easier to adapt to the outside world, especially compared to his brother Snow, who can transform into a dog. If that's not shades of Tucker's experiment, I don't know what is, as well as his sister Aisuri, who is part spider, and easily the wild child of the bunch. Both of them have it pretty rough when trying to fit in since, well, to put it bluntly, they look the least human. Ashisu, who is part plant, also has a bit of the same problem, but can pass it off most of the time as a hair accessory. While there are no physical changes to Suishi, which makes her somewhat relatable to Tanasu, she can read people's minds, which leads her wanting to limit her interaction with other people most of the time. I very much enjoyed watching the family try to adapt to modern society, and the drama that would break out between them in trying to do so. This anime does sort of an interesting thing, in which even though the siblings are close and love and care for each other, there's still strife, and there's not really a solution to their problem. Society is most likely going to look down on them if they were discovered, and some company or country would want to run experiments on them. But with a little care taken before going out, they are able to seamlessly blend into society for the most part. Worst case scenario, there's always the medicine that temporarily turns them back human, but with some nasty side effects. Them being different is always going to be a potential problem, but the best thing they can do as a family is to try their best. A lot of unsettling things have happened with the siblings, but together as a family they work together to get through it, despite, let's be honest, not having the best parents. Also, I gotta say, from what looks like their first work, Big Firebird Animation did a mostly pretty good job animating this series. Some nice backgrounds, some good animation and cinematography, color me impressed. I don't know, maybe? It's just an expression. Anyway, I was surprised at the quality of animation for the most part, so much so I was actually looking for it to take a dip in quality. It does, but much later than I thought it would. It stays pretty good through most of its run. However, in some of the later episodes, continuity errors with Aisuri's legs start to happen, where they didn't before. Sometimes her legs would be there, and then they wouldn't, or suddenly her backpack would appear, stuff like that. And the quality of the animation seemed to drop a bit by the end, compared to the start of the series. But I want to make it clear, it's by no means bad, just not as good. It's still a surprisingly very polished anime that unfortunately didn't or hasn't received a lot of attention. I praise this anime for its family dynamic and its darker themes, yet still trying to deliver a positive message, especially during episodes 6 and 7. I don't want to make it sound like this is the peak of the series, but it is my favorite part of the series, as we start to get a lot of details about what Tanasu's parents were doing, as well as the risks of the medicine. But what I liked so much compared to the other parts of the anime was it showing the special dynamic between Aisuri and Ashisu. While they all are siblings, the two of them have a special bond that the others don't. that they are, and this will be a slight spoiler, actually twins. And I guess you could say they used to be identical twins before their parents experimented on them, and Isuri had that accident with the hair dye. And because of that, they never really got to play the tricks identical twins are wont to do. It's a bit sad in one aspect, but also kind of sweet that despite no matter what they look like, their big brother Snow knows who is who. Why? Because he's their brother. At any rate, Frankenstein Family does a good job at showing the family dynamic between brothers and sisters in general, but does an even better job at showing the special bond between twins. So yeah, I very much enjoyed Frankenstein Family. I like the animation and style for the most part. I love some of the darker themes tied with a positive family message. It does a lot of things well, it's just a shame it doesn't get more attention. Well, its delayed streaming in the US didn't help. Being done by an unknown animation studio doesn't help either. There's also the runtime, which is 15 minutes, making this essentially a short anime, which never do as well outside your Inferno Cop or your Space Patrol Luluco. Technically, if you watch it on Crunchyroll, they are still 24-minute episodes, but that extra time is dedicated to cast and crew interviews, which can be fun and entertaining in their own right for people like me who like to know the process of how a show is made, but it isn't for everyone, and something like that is usually used as DVD or Blu-ray extras, not to pad the length of an episode. But if there's anything I don't like about Frankenstein Family, it's the ending. It's not so much as rushed as abruptly ends. 1 minute they're talking about whether or not they should go ahead and tell the landlord about their bodies. Suishi collapses after getting overloaded with what the landlord was thinking they were going to tell him, and that's how it ends. It's kind of frustrating because up until that point, I was quite enjoying this anime. Even the conversation about telling the landlord was intriguing and engaging, but it just cuts to Sayori Hayami, Ashisu's voice actress, talking about her role. No disrespect to Sayori Hayami, but I wanted to see them tell the landlord about themselves, showing that they trusted someone outside the family, seeing growth and development of the characters. Unfortunately, we don't get that, but hey, at least Sayori had fun recording her lines with Nanako Mori, aka Isuri's voice actress. So as much as I've mostly enjoyed and praised Frankenstein Family for the things it does well, it has its fair share of problems. I do think it's worth checking out because of its ability to show darker themes, but having characters try to stay positive about it, as well as having some good animation and cinematography, even if the anime just ends and the Crunchyroll stream is a bit heavy on cast and crew interviews. As I've mentioned, Frankenstein Family is available for streaming on Crunchyroll, link down in the description. I'll also have a MyAnimeList link as well, in case you're interested in a little more information on it. Go ahead and let us know your thoughts on Frankenstein Family in the comments below. As always, I've been Anime Visor. Thanks for watching, don't perform illegal scientific experiments on your children, and goodbye.